These are M16 rifles, property of U.S. government. Along the border with Afghanistan, Pakistani Taliban militants are showing up with weapons that were made in the USA. And it's manufactured by FN?
Yes.
USA out of Columbia, South Carolina. The U.S. equipped the now defeated Afghan army with a huge armory of weapons as it withdrew from Afghanistan. And some of those U.S.-made guns now appear to be arming the newest generation of jihadi militants. We're headed over to this plane over here. It's a Pakistani military Cessna. And that's how we're getting to fly over parts of northwest Pakistan that have historically been very, very dangerous. The Pakistani military is showing off mineral wealth it says is buried deep beneath these mountains. Valuable deposits that could be worth trillions of dollars. The U.S. wants to get in on this game.
My favorite field marshal from Pakistan.
The question is, how do you mine resources in a mountainous region that's been a battlefield in a decades-long forever war? This is part of why it's been so difficult to battle the insurgency, because it's very hard to control these peaks. Okay, we've landed here in South Waziristan in Wana. The army loads me into an armed convoy. We pass truckloads of heavily armed soldiers returning from patrols and arrive at the aftermath of a recent truck bomb. The size of this explosion, you can tell, was massive. It ripped out the fortifications, the walls here at the front, at the gate of this school, this cadet college, and killed in this location at least 3 Pakistani army soldiers. Security camera footage shows the moment the truck bomb detonated. Moments later, a second wave of 4 insurgent gunmen ran through wreckage of the gate and stormed the school. These steps are still splattered with the blood of a school cook and a waiter who were both killed, gunned down in the initial assault. There were more than 500 students aged 12 to 18 on campus. Over the next 24 hours, Pakistani soldiers successfully evacuated all of them.
They were attempting to run away after a failed attempt to take hostages. They were killed by the forces right there, in front of this building.
Colonel Mohammed Tahir of the Pakistani Special Forces says the attackers were all citizens of Afghanistan. Look closely here. What does it say, Colonel?
Yeah, it says property of U.S. government.
Yeah.
M16.
As is this M16,
yes,
and then this M16 as well. This is particularly creepy. The Army says each one of the fighters were found wearing these white headbands. This one is still stained with the blood of the dead fighter. This is a special ready for martyrdom force. These guys were ready to die fighting, carrying US-made guns. I'm taking photos of the serial numbers of these M16s. And what we'll try to do is go back and kind of cross-reference them, check with the US government to find out what they're doing here. The U.S. military confirmed to CNN that 3 out of the 4 rifles were supplied to Afghan security forces in and around Kabul years before the withdrawal. The Pentagon declined to comment further on this matter. The war between governments and jihadists along the Afghan-Pakistan border has been going on for decades. What is new is the recent appearance of U.S.-made weapons in the hands of Pakistani Taliban militants in their propaganda videos. The Pakistani Taliban is an independent entity with deep links to the Afghan Taliban. I've counted more than 100 M16s, all with the marking property of U.S. government. And the Pakistani military says that these were all captured from the hands of killed Taliban fighters. What happens to the weapons that were supplied to the Afghan government?
Well, the Taliban get it all, or a majority of it.
To get a sense of the scale of what the Taliban captured, I reach out to John Sopko in Washington, D.C. He spent 12 years as Special Inspector General for the U.S.'s $148 billion Afghanistan reconstruction program. It provided billions worth of weapons to the Afghan security forces.
300,000 some small arms weapons ended up with the Taliban. And it could go down the list. I mean, grenade launchers, communication stuff, rocket launchers, mortars, cannons, heavy machine guns, surveillance equipment. Nearly all of the night vision equipment that we provided to the Afghans, the Taliban got.
Can militants here in Pakistan get access to any of these weapons?
I think these weapons, once they get into this market and they get into the hands of the terrorists, it is not only Pakistan, they can pop up anywhere in this world. Because all these terrorist organizations, the non-state actors, they are very well connected with each other.
In a video statement released to CNN, a spokesman for the Pakistani Taliban denied accusations that the Afghan government was arming the fighters. Meanwhile, the Afghan government tells CNN that weapons left behind after the withdrawal of foreign forces are under the complete strict control and protection of the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan, and no one has been allowed to use these weapons for any kind of illegal use. It's here at Peshawar's Civil Military Hospital where you get a glimpse at the human cost of this conflict. Colonel Bilal Saeed is an army surgeon here.
You're meeting Abdullah, sir.
Hi, Mr. Abdullah, how are you?
Abdullah, कैसे हो? Sir, पूछ रहे हैं आप कैसे हो?
Military statistics show a surge in casualties since 2021. That's the year the Taliban took over Afghanistan. Amid the survivors of this violence, Alahaddin, this 30-year-old father of three, serves in the Frontier Corps, a provincial paramilitary force. But an insurgent surprise attack on November 9th that took both his legs was his very first time in combat.
First time, sir.
Yeah. When you were hit, did you know it was a very serious injury?
मैं होश में था और पूरा होश और जोश आवाज़ के साथ था और अपने दुश्मन को मैंने काफ़ी नुकसान भी कोशिश किया था लेकिन मेरी बस की बात में उस टाइम नहीं था बहुत दूर थे अगर मैं ज़िंदा हूँ और आखिरी सांस तक हूँ इनको बच्चों को भी मैं याद रखूँगा उनको नहीं छोड़ूँगा.
Have the wounds changed over the years?
Sir, one can appreciate a changing pattern of wounds. Now we are receiving patients with long ranges, gunshot wounds, sniper hits. Now we have casualties coming in after the sunset hours because of weapons, night vision devices.
There's another factor that could dramatically change this forever war, and that's the growing global race for valuable metals, some of which are believed to be buried under these mountains.
In about a year from now, we'll have so much critical mineral and rare earths that you won't know what to do with them.
The Trump administration is actively looking for new places to find these resources as it seeks to break China's virtual monopoly on some of these materials. In December, the U.S. Embassy in Islamabad announced a $1.25 billion investment in a Pakistani copper mine.
We look forward to seeing further agreements between U.S. companies and their Pakistani counterparts in the critical minerals and mining sector.
The Pakistani government estimates it's sitting on trillions of dollars worth of critical minerals, including lithium, cobalt, gold, and copper. Elements that are vital for the artificial intelligence boom, energy transmission, and the defense industry. For weeks, we asked the Pakistani authorities for a first-hand look at these valuable deposits.
It's simply described as too dangerous to try to travel to this area by road, so we have to see it from overhead.
The Muhammad Khail copper mine is located in the turbulent North Waziristan region. It's just 10 kilometers, around 6 miles from the Afghan border.
This is part of what's so crazy about the situation right now. You've got valuable deposits of metals like copper that are being mined right now but they're being extracted in areas where Islamist insurgents had been active for decades.
The Pakistani government has placed great hopes that a global rush for copper and other critical minerals could transform the economy, but there's a possible spoiler: the recent eruption of hostilities between the Pakistani government and the Taliban government in Afghanistan.
Did Pakistan bomb Kabul?
Yeah, we did go into Afghanistan.
That's a startling admission from Pakistan's defense minister. He admits he celebrated when the Taliban took over Afghanistan in 2021. But now he accuses the Afghan government of arming the insurgency in Pakistan.
They are like Siamese twins, you know.
But are some of the Taliban officials that have been fighting with Pakistan some of the same people who used to live and take shelter here?
Yes, that's correct, you know. They still have properties over here. They still have some of their second or third families over here in Pakistan.
Is that the definition of blowback?
Yeah, I think so.
Pakistan may now add itself to a growing list of governments that have miscalculated in Afghanistan, a war-torn country often referred to as the graveyard of empires.